Dear students, welcome to our class on climate change, schools of view, basics 2. In this class, from agricultural meteorological point of view, we have to examine a few of arguments advanced for neglect and recognition of climate change. We agrometeorologists should understand these two. What are those? Arguments advanced for neglect and recognition of climate change. Valid arguments advanced for neglect of climate change. Valid arguments for neglect of climate change are basically three we are discussing in this class. In that, number one, climate change predictions are based on simulation models. Since we are unable to predict either the temporal or spatial vagaries in a season, not much store can be set on prediction of 50 or 100 years of climate change from now. Okay, this is the first argument. Once I would like to say that simulation models are wonderful, simulation models are there, but within a season it is very, very difficult nowadays to predict what is happening, what is going to happen, what is going to happen. Predicting the weather for the next few days to follow is known as weather forecasting. So, how is it possible for the 50 or 100 years to come? The first argument to neglect. The second argument, before we go for that, I would like to share with you an important discussion on this particular point. Whether this criticism is valid or not, this is a school of view. That means it is the view. Now, for assessing the impact of climate change, it is better to take, therefore, okay, we are unable to do temporal or spatial vagaries in a season. So in that case, what we should do? For assessing the impact of climate change, it is better to take on region-wise and season-wise basis. Okay, season-wise or region-wise. Okay. Recently observed rate of changes of parameters for the business as usual scenarios, twice for the current rate of change for pessimistic climate scenarios, twice as compared to the present under the most pessimistic climate scenarios, and 50% of the current rate for the most optimistic scenarios. So this is what simulation models are there. Nobody is arguing their ability, but however, just we are unable to predict correctly. That is the feeling, that is the observation among the agrometeorologists. Now, point number 2, let's go. What is the point number 2? The magnitude in changes of weather elements envisaged, the magnitude of changes envisaged, whether it is CO2, temperature, CO2, rainfall, whatever it may be, envisaged, even in a pessimistic climatic scenarios, do occur. Here I have made an underline and a tick here. Do occur even now at a place either inter or intra-seasonally. Meaning very, very, very simple. What we are anticipating because of the worst or pessimistic climate change scenarios are occurring either inter or intra-seasonally. For example, here for the point number 2, I would like to share a statement like this. The argument that CO2 will have a fertilizing effect on crops and boost up the yields ignores the fact that such an increase will be accompanied by an increase in temperature and cloudiness. Then what will happen? Then the increase in the temperature and cloudiness because of, no doubt, increase in the CO2 enhances the as I said, for fertilizing effect on crop, no doubt. However, simultaneously the other side, the temperature is increasing, cloudiness is increasing. Therefore, they tend to offset the beneficial effects of enhanced CO2. This is point number 2 is concerned. Another important point in continuation is that, of course, the temperature and cloudiness may lead to encroachment of warm, cloudy weather into current periods of, you can say that, cool and clear conditions. Both temperature, increase in the temperature and cloudiness may encroach into the existing beneficial effects of CO2 fertilizer. fertilization, we call it that. Now, as far as third point is concerned, I would like to impress upon you that technology is developed. Technology is developed to cope with the current level of weather vagaries, can be used to cope with the future climate change scenarios. For any change in the climate, technologies are being developed, whether it is agronomic or genetics and plant breeding, agronomic, soil science, crop physiology. We cannot undermine any science here. Every technology option is set forth by agrometeorologists in consultation with all other sciences. Agronomy, even, agronomy, starting from agronomy, economics, entomology, GPPR, plant physiology, plant pathology, SSSC, water, every science agrometeorologists are trying to, for what? To find technologies for climate change scenarios. So, number one is we are unable to, climate change, we are unable to predict seasonal, number one. Number two, of course, the most pessimistic scenarios, what would occur, they do occur now, they are occurring right now. Third one is we have the technology to cope for the climate change scenario. These are the points that we have learned in the arguments advanced for neglect of climate change. Thank you very much.